Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. And hello, everybody. Here we are again. Ba-boom. All right. Spiritual Rockstar Podcast Show. And I've got another wonderful energy scan show. These energy scan shows are amazing. And this person, she's a little star, I'll tell you, a big star, right? So, she's got the magic sauce going on over here. And I'm so glad that we've met. And I'm looking forward to. We had done an energy scan. We're going to do a follow-up energy scan, and we're going to see some of the evolution she's seen since the first energy scan, and some of the things she's shared with me already are really awesome. So I'm looking forward to sharing with you in a moment with Yoli in just one moment, and you're going to love it. Hey, Yoli, before we get going here, why don't you just say hello to everybody?
Hey, everybody. I'm excited to be here and share and learn more. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. So dive in one moment. Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate, Make Money meditation today. All right. So here we go. Now you need to know about Yoli and her background. Now, Yoli Tamu is an author, educator, and performing artist who is also the creator and host of the Back to Me project. Mm-hmm. So she has a podcast. What's the? I'm not gonna say it right. I forgot to ask a Collre. There's a Collre and Beyond Podcast. And the podcast features self-affirming interviews with accomplished psychologists and higher education professionals for students seeking tips to succeed in college and in a career they love. She's got a very powerful story about college, and this is what's guided her to this. So we might get into that a little bit today. And for the past 22 years, Yoli has taught elementary school, high school, college students. She understands the challenges young people face growing up in this ever-changing world. She earned a master's of education degree in cross-cultural teaching from National University of I know it's not Jolla, right? How do you pronounce that again?
La Jolla.
Right. I'm like, come on, Daniel, you know this. So it's like one of those questions you can't remember for some silly reason. Okay, California, a bachelor's in fine arts degree in musical theater at Howard University in Washington, D.C. Yoli is also a former Warner Brothers record label recording artist who has co-written songs for film and television. One of her notable theme songs, Ain't No Stoppin Sunshine, which I highly recommend. You can find it actually on YouTube. It's really, really awesome. So can be heard in the cherished and acclaimed motion picture Deliver Us from Eva, and starring Gabrielle Union and LL Cool J. She authored and published her first book titled Back to Me, a Devotional Walk for a College Freshman Woman. So, yeah, she's, I found her, I discovered her too. I discovered her on LinkedIn. And I just, when I look at people on there, I just get a feeling who I'm supposed to connect with. And then we connected. I'm sure you'll never forget that, right?
I was like, wow. Especially when I saw the work you do. I said, okay, we got to talk.
Right. Yeah. And then we connected after that, and we did this energy scan. So anyway, it's time to kind of do a catch up. It's been about three-ish months since we did that, 3.5 months, I think now. You gave me a little bit of an update already, but tell us a little bit of update, some of the things that I told you from the first energy scan and some of the changes you've seen in your life and or business up till now, and then we'll dive into where things want to go next.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the last time we spoke, we were just talking about me having so much chaos around me, and being distracted by family, just different situations that were pulling me from different places. And I finally had to get centered and put myself first. And so you were just so specific and clear about what I need to do and where I was in that process. So you felt like I had a little bit more to go as far as letting myself separate from that. And you were right. It was like I had a few more exchanges to happen in the family for me to feel comfortable enough to say, okay, it's time for me to step back. I'm going to leave you guys to it. Love you, but I got to step back. And so I'm just so grateful and thankful that I did that.
Yeah, so awesome. Yeah, what you shared with me was amazing. Going into the show today, and when we clear up that's the thing. That's why I always say I'm very holistic in helping the world changing light leaders, because if you've got certain things going on that are pulling all your energy, yeah, it could be our parents, need our help or whatever it may be, but we've got things pulling on us, drama in our life, anywhere, whatever it is, our health, what have you. How can we do our world changing stuff? I mean, we're not going to have the bandwidth to be able to do it. So we have to start clearing things up so that we're able to do what we've come here to do ultimately, and to learn the things we're meant to learn in that process. So I give you all the credit for taking the steps, because sure, I share with people, but not everybody follows through on what they know to be their truth. So good job.
Thank you. I had to. I was losing myself, so I had to.
Yeah. So let's talk about your work. So tell the audience about, we talked about a little bit in the bio, but tell them about the work you do in the world, and where you are with your business, and then where you're wanting to go with it, as far as what you can tell right now, like kind of where you want to go with it next. And then I'll be listening in for the some of the challenges maybe you're having right now, and what some of the answers might be as I'm tuning in, channeling, and all that good stuff for you today. So
okay, yeah. I mean, my next step at this point is to really get my project out there on the road. You and I talked about, I do focus on, in my College and Beyond podcast, we focus on college students that are freshmen coming into a new experience, as well as college graduates heading out into the real world. So both students are in transition. I'm in transition, and I'm heading out into the touring world. I want to not only just focus on college students, but in speaking with you, I can definitely reach women. There's so many other people that will receive the whole back to me transitional message that I have and that I give through music and storytelling. And I'm just finding that people are connecting with it, and I'm starting to learn how to I guess meet the right people in these colleges to get my presentation contracted on their campuses. So that's where I'm headed now. I would like to not only get on their stages and get in front of their college students. I want to do it all around the colleges that are nearby and get myself a little tour going. And I'm thinking, I can be regional for a certain period of time during the year, and then, hit another region at a different time of the year. So those are things that are on my mind. I also have an online course that correlates with my presentation. So I'm trying to also launch that, I think, in the new year. It's a 4-week course that I'm going to offer to students individually and to groups on the campus. So that's my plan, the course and the show. That's what I'm trying to offer.
all right, great. So you have a lot of options for people to get helped. So it sounds like that you're, the online course, you've got one-to-one, you can do various groups. So you've got all those different ways to help people. Tell the audience, I know about your work, but the audience still doesn't really understand yet. So tell the audience a little bit more about how you help college students, especially women.
Okay, well, the Back to Me project is it was born because as an artist that was in the music industry for a little while, I went through all the twists and turns of the music business, and my music was not released. It was not marketed properly. And so when I left the label, I just felt, wow, like I felt rejected, really. And so I was wondering if that was my calling still, because this particular platform didn't want it. But that didn't mean that another platform wouldn't accept it. And so as an educator and a music artist, the students actually helped me bridge my worlds together. Like, why don't we know that you're a singer? Why don't we know that you perform? What is that about? And so I just went off on my own and created an album called Back to Me, which was just a self-discovery journey for myself. And the kids listened to it and they related to it. There were certain songs on there. There's one called The Aftermath, where, coming out of something. So some of them were coming out of, COVID, or coming out of cyberbullying, or coming out of being cutters, witnessing divorce. There were so many things that kids could relate to. And as an educator, I teach them one-on-one. And so I got to learn about their personal stories. And so they convinced me to tell my stories in my workshop. And so what I did was took my song titles from my album and made a book out of those song titles. And so those 10 chapters tell this story of how I handle each problem in my life. And I decided to make the book focus on a college experience, because those were the kids that were coming to me the most. And so I just related on my college background at Howard. And so I took so much from those experiences, being a freshman in college, being sexually assaulted. That was actually the aftermath for some of the young people. And it reminded me, wow, I was sexually assaulted. Maybe I should talk about that. Things that happen to you, you just kind of let them go, but wow, it came back.
Right.
And it's never really gone, but yeah, it came back, And so I just decided to tell my story of sexual assault in one of the chapters, and talked about dating and changing majors. I just related everything they had questions about in this book. And then from that book, it became a workshop where I developed a 4-step process where it's all about self-awareness and self-fulfillment and becoming a warrior for yourself. And so I take you through 4 steps of doing that. And so for part 1 of the process, we identify what's known as ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. So we identify our triggers as a result of the trauma that we've experienced as young people. So I take them through quizzes and assessments. And then from there, there's other assessments that I give that help them identify their triggers in relationships. So once you have an awareness of your childhood trauma, things that still exist today, you now know how to communicate in relationships. So then part 2 is all about relationships, be they dating partners, which is what they all want to talk about, or, roommates or family members. And so part 2 is all about taking their triggers and identifying all those traumas so that you can communicate this to certain people. You may not have meant XYZ, but I received it this way. So I'm going to need you to communicate with me in a different way. So I just developed their confidence and their ability to ask for what they need as an individual, instead of trying to fit in with the crowd, go along to get along, be a part of the group. I want you to embrace being invincible. And that's what I call part 2. It's all about being invincible. And so through that, I take them through all these personality assessments. And, we even go through the 5 love languages, identify what that is. And there's a 7-step process that I walk them through, where they get to forgiveness. They get to forgiveness of themselves. They get to forgiveness of the person. And there's a process that I take them through where they actually hit all of these 7 steps so that the person they're talking to is clear about their needs. There's no question about it. And that person has the option to stay in your life or not, to comply with what you ask or not. And that you walk away with forgiveness for them and for yourself. And it's just like, some of it is painful, but at the end of it, when you really work the 7-step process, you are at a place of freedom, which is what I had to come to. Talking to you, I had to reiterate all this stuff for myself.
Right.
Jesus.
Right.
But yeah, so I take them through this process and I use it myself. I used it myself. After speaking to you, I put my stuff in my own process. It was just like, okay, it's time to forgive yourself. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's
totally. Time to forgive yourself, because that's what I was holding on to. So after the part 2, we go into part 3, which is all about preserving this peace that you're going to find within once you leave certain situations and leave certain people, or allow certain people to leave your life, you know what I mean? Or recognize who wants to stay and who deserves to stay. You know, it's a celebration of sorts. And so you have to stay at peace in part 3. So I introduced them to Reiki, and I introduced them to, breathing exercises and yoga and mindfulness practices. Really, mindfulness is the key. And then part 4, we wrap it up with a section that's called Holding On to Us. So how are you going to pay it forward? How are you going to share this information? Is it going to be shared with a group, with a family member, with a friend? You know, it doesn't have to be a big drawn out experience. Just who are you sharing this with so that you can pay it forward? You're going to share this information and pay it forward. And then that just fills you up because you're naturally a giving person to someone else. So that's really it. I take them through a 4-part process. And for those that have been through it, I've been to UCLA, I've been to El Camino College, Cal State Fullerton, a few groups that I've been able to talk to. And they've all said that they have realized that they're more confident telling people no. The back to me concept they get. They're a warrior for themselves. At the end of the day, it's about you. It's right. About self. So how are you going to preserve that and take care of yourself? So when they call me and these kids are like 19, 20 years old with this information that has taken us 20 plus years to do and figure out, I'm just excited to hear that they're unapologetic in what they want. And they know how to kind of rationalize some of the trauma and the pain. And so that's it. That's really what I do.
That's great. And I mean, this is all part of helping people are listening in too, like to do all different kinds of things to listen into their own experiences. Again, like I say to people when they're listening in, when I'm doing a process with somebody, remember guys, this is for all of us, everything we're going through. So
right.
Where are you needing to double down on your own teaching? I always tell people one of the quickest ways to succeed is just live your own message. I mean, like, what's your message? Are you living it? Well, all right. That might be part of the issue. You need to live a message, and once you identified, oh, I need to live my message there, you did, right away. So you did great. So, and we just need that reminder sometimes, like, man, just live your message. I mean, that's one of the big keys. So anyway, this is really good. You really detailed how you help people really well. And I think by you doing that, this is why I just trust the process of when I work with people overall. And then this show, like it started outlining like different ways like you can structure this business to reach more people and be more successful and all that. Just more for me, more common sense things than just intuitive. So, for example, which probably you've heard of before, but developing an online quiz, if I don't think you've done that yet. So if you develop an online quiz, that would be tremendous. Like that is like an essential, I feel, for your business. You need to develop, or adapt something you have into an online quiz that'll bring people into your email list. So when you go to do your talks and everything, I'm sure you do a good job of getting them on your list, but this could be another way to do it. And then the other thing is that the people will eat it up. And then the other thing is to, then we would look at how we want to drive traffic to that online as well. Like every time you speak online to your target market, then they have this online quiz or different quizzes even potentially to go into. Because if you're going to help the students, you're going to help women, a specific segment of women, then you have these different quizzes. And it's like step 1. Okay, we start with this online quiz. That's all part of your steps anyway. So you start them with a free one they can get started with. The next step could be to review the quiz with you, right? They could, if you want to take them deeper into a higher level thing, like I'll share this with you because this is what I recommend overall for people who are really looking at, like you've gotten out, you've spoken, you've been hired by these places. Some people would hear you say that and say, oh my God, I wish I could get some gigs, that's huge success, I mean, And yet you're still building your business. You don't have it set up yet. You're teaching, and whatnot still, and you're getting to the point where you'll be able to let go of that and build your business, do this full time. That at some point is your dream, right? So we're building this. So the thing is just to come up with systems, different ways that can happen easily, and quickly. And the
Mm,
quickest way is not actually the online quiz, but that's something you'd want to develop. Is I say this to anybody: is develop, a high ticket offering. So even if you're going to go do all these different ones, they're going to pay you good money and whatnot. The maybe even faster way potentially to go full time with this is to have a high, not just an offer, but a high ticket enough offer for your one-to-ones and your groups and whatnot, that you only need a few couple of people a month, even maybe, or whatever, to pay your bills, all those sorts of things, right?
mhm.
So that's definitely something that I would highly recommend if you don't already have it, which my feeling is you probably don't fully have it yet. I know you know your material up and down and sideways. You know your stuff, but
Mhm.
having it set up where you're making lots of money is where we want to make sure you got that nailed.
I got a
So
question for you. Can I
yeah,
ask
go
you a
ahead.
question?
Mhm.
When we talk about high ticket items, I always have to recognize that my true customer is the organization, not necessarily the student. So secondary is the student, the
Mhm.
organization, or the person, the meeting planner. That
Mhm.
person is really the true customer. You know what I mean? They have the budget.
Mhm.
So a high
Mhm.
ticket item for them is to serve their masses, not necessarily them one-on-one. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So
Mhm.
that's why I run into that problem with a one-on-one model,
Mhm.
because they're never really looking for themselves, my particular customer. They're looking for
Mhm.
servicing groups.
Mhm. Right. So you've done how many paid speaking gigs so far, like at these colleges?
Well, yeah, just those colleges I named. So that's only been about 3 or 4
Three or four so
places.
far. Okay.
And
Mhm.
Howard was the big one where I did my show there. And then the other schools, I offered the workshop, the 4-part that I wrote out to you. So we just offered that in parts because they didn't all need all the pieces. They just wanted certain parts. So I rolled that out and put a price for each part.
And then has it been a workshop where people go through this whole process so far?
Yeah, it's a workshop series.
Mhm.
So if
Yeah.
you want the workshop in full in all parts, then yeah, I'd roll it out once a week if they want to do it that way.
Hmm. Okay, so there's different ways you could configure it, right?
Mhm.
So what I'm saying is that let's say I've got a colleague and they're like, oh my God, I sent Jenny off to college and she's having a hell of a time trying to do anything. She's experiencing trauma at school, and this thing happened to her, and that. Now she doesn't have confidence, and she already had issues to begin with, and her grades are going in the toilet, and we're paying tens and thousands of dollars for a college education, and she's got all these student loans, and I don't know, she's not making it that well right now. We don't even know if she'll be able to stay.
Mhm.
Do you feel like in that case, just to give an example, if somebody referred that person to you, that you could help them turn it around and preserve the investment they've already made, not to mention to lose, money in the process, to have a quote unquote high ticket, opportunity to support them, the parents have gladly pay what it is, even if it was whatever, let's say $3,000 or $5,000 or whatever it is, but that you're going to help turn it around. Do you think you could do that?
I think so, but it also depends on the demographic. So I
Huh?
know that I serve people of color. I'm
Uh-huh.
definitely open to serve everyone, but I serve who I attract, if you will. So I happen to
Okay.
attract a lot of Black students, Black families.
That's
And
your prime market, is what you're saying.
yeah. So when you think about what they can afford and what they're willing to pay for, that becomes an issue. So that's why
If they're finding a way to pay for the college education, they can pay for some support to help them go through the college education.
right. One would hope. Yes, I hear you.
Well, here's the thing. There's people that always can't afford things. There's always people that can.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that fundamentally is like the mindset shift you need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I hear from people that are hurting for money all the time. They have kids in college. Wait a minute, I actually, if I start thinking like, get that reticular activating system working for your advantage, is like, it's notices like, everywhere I look, there's that green car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, once you start focusing on there, people have the money to invest in this, you'll start noticing a bunch of people have the money for it. We're like,
Right.
oh, I see it now. And you'll start noticing it everywhere. So there are people of color that are wealthy families, they have plenty of money, but their kid is having issues, whatever they may be, right?
Right.
So, and you can help them. So my point is even having the offer available, it makes that can be very important just to even have it available.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I have a 1-to-1 track for all this. It's whatever, 3,000 to 5,000, or could be more or less, but like whatever you're going to set the price at, I've got a 1-to-1 option I can go to. I don't necessarily have to focus on it. I don't necessarily have to make it my bread and butter focused offer. I'm not saying you necessarily have to. I'm just saying have it available for now. Make sure that you have it available, that you know what you would do in that situation. Have it available. You think that you could do that, like, or do you feel like, if you, or we got, outside of the scan, today, but we could talk about, fleshing that out, but like, basically you just take them through a 1-to-1 process of this. You're just charging them so that it's worthwhile for everybody.
Yeah, because the time that it takes, the investment time and the follow-up, because I have been approached by a few parents that are, kids are heading into college, and yeah, some of them are in affluent areas, and some of them have already waited, like, oh, let's wait till you get about 5 more so we can balance this out. I don't necessarily want a one-on-one anymore. Now, if you know some more, you know what I mean? It's like it goes back and forth. So it is a matter of, streamlining my marketing, making it look more attractive to that affluent person and attracting them to just want to do it.
Well, you're associated with affluence because of your background. People, it's not logical, but like, people are like, you, man, you've been in the movies or whatever, or your songs are out there, man. You probably made millions off of that. That's just what people think right away.
Right.
They just think that right away, whether even if it's just unconscious, they're just thinking that way, right? So you're already on an affluent kind of track. And then you have all the, your programs, your group programs for everybody else that, I just always say, like, I mean, hey, the truth is, people will have the money to pay for whatever they need. There are people that don't have money, they'll still want to get in and find a way, so, and if they're able to find their way in, it'll be worth every penny, it'll be worth every penny. So you just have to remember that. Imagine if you had that support back then that you didn't have, right? So someone like you, what would that have done for you? How would that have changed your life, right?
Yeah, definitely set me up to just know the pitfalls that are coming and how to navigate them.
Yeah, save you a whole lot of less trauma, other traumas you experienced after that because of that initial trauma, some of those other traumas, right? Then it builds, right? So what you do is you put an end to that so they don't have to keep getting re-traumatized before they're able to get it. So when people say, well, we'll just wait. Well, in the meantime, that kid might be getting traumatized again and again in different micro ways and in major ways, potentially. So it's like, okay, well, no, we don't want to wait. And you want to get out of that mindset. So I understand, like, this is one of the issues I run into with people that want to do big impact. Like, I get it. And like, by doing this high ticket thing, it's going to help give you more leverage to be able to reach more people, because if you don't have a foundation a strong foundation to build from financially, and then it's gonna be hard to continue to try to scale up sometimes. So it helps to have this foundation. And the other thing is really, really important is that as much as your ideal client already, you'll get to know them way more the more you do one-to-ones with them. You'll get to
Yeah.
know them so intimately, and that will help you to scale and reach more people because you'll know, they probably need one of those too, and one of these, and one. You put more and more stuff into the pack. You know how to serve them better on free, low levels. You know, every level in the spectrum, you'll know more of what would support them best. So I'm saying have it available. You don't have to do tons of one-to-ones, just have it available and start serving those 3 to 5 people at a time. That
Yeah.
may be all you need to help start freeing yourself to do this more full time so that you can go have whatever amount of gigs every month, right? 3 or 4 or more, per month, right? Where
Right.
you're going to pay probably right off the bat, whatever, hundreds or thousands of dollars per gig easily.
Mhm.
And then you're going to make money from the event, and that's a longer conversation. But um, there's lots of ways to maximize that too. So that's kind of what I'm identifying, just on a business coach level, even more than intuitive. If we scan into your energy, what I'm getting is over these next 3 or 4 months. Yeah, I'm getting a 3 or 4 month building up kind of energy. So let me see what I get. Yeah, I get this no more poor me stuff. That's this resonant energy that's within the tribe, within Black women.
Yeah.
I work with Black women. You're not. I have clients that are Black women. It's not like I'm a newbie here, so I know
Right.
something anyway.
That's
Okay,
right.
so I know this vibe. It's
Yes.
just I'm traumatized. I got my issues, and more the Black women have that. But I'm just saying, like, it's a particular vibration, right, within a
Oh
tribe.
yeah. Mhm.
So it's like, okay, okay, you probably already have created some of this, but like, I need my anthem song to clear that. Like, I literally might create a song. Like, we need to put an end to that for Black women. Like, is there a song I could create or like this anthem I get, like, that helps to clear that? So something around clearing that, because that's part of what's holding your vibration down is clearing that. So you want to clear that for yourself. So think about clearing it for yourself first.
Mhm.
That's one way you can contribute to that. And as you start to clear that, then you start operating more from a even clearer space to be that enlightened, powerful business leader and inspirational leader. Um, for Black women, like a leader in a number of different ways. Like, as you scale up in your energy, like, more opportunities come to you to work with people in more settings. Could be more corporate settings on top of, or Black women in the music industry, maybe. Who knows? Like, there's so many different options. So, but yeah, clearing this energy is important. So I'm just going to give you the cliff notes on each thing for now. Yeah, I would double and triple down. I'm getting like double and triple down that your target market is these Black women.
Mhm.
So that needs to be like, hey, this is for so many people, and it's particularly really is for the, and then because one of the most compelling things in marketing is your story of why it matters so much. So your story is much more compelling when it is for, whether it's Black women or you're saying, women of color or however, but like whatever it is like that, okay, with that anthem that it's for them, it's like, here, listen to the song that I wrote about that. And honestly, that might move people to want to hire you even more. But like, this focus on that market, even sharpening the focus on that market and being sharper with your message to that market, that will help inspire you and get your energy online to get in the door in more of these venues too.
Mhm.
So instead of looking at like, and I don't know what you're doing, but like, instead of looking at like, man, there's like 1,000 colleges I could talk to, identify the 50 or whatever, the top 50 or whatever it is, whatever the number is, and be like, okay, those are my people. Those organizations are my peeps, that from that perspective. So those are the ones I could really make the most impact in. So let me target those ones. Let me target those ones. I'm going to do whatever I can to get into those ones, assuming that there's an opportunity there. Then maybe the 20 or 25 of them are left, but that isn't bad, right? If you did 20 to 25 speaking gigs next year, you'd be pretty happy, right? I mean, we could start, and you could always build from there. So repeat, right? You got your repeat business, and then you've got new ones that'll keep coming in. So that's another thing I'm getting. And then I'll get one more thing maybe, and then we'll talk from there. Yeah, okay. They're showing me your hair on fire metaphorically. But your hair on fire, and it's like, I'm sure I shared this the first time. It's really bringing in more of your spiritual energy into it. Like, just that's part of it. And then the other part is yeah, I mean, they say building, bridging so you're bridging the dimensions between, the earthly experience and the higher dimensional realms through your music. So a bridge builder. So being such a stand that your hair is, you feel like your hair's on fire. Like a metaphor, like I'm on fire with this stuff. So not being there can be fear around that potentially if you got that other wobbly energy. Oh my God, am I going to be persecuted, as a Black woman or whatever, right? So and be judged. Oh, she thinks she's all that. We'll show her, right? So no, just being clear, like nothing can touch me. It's not, because you may come across as being very cocky when you get into your real power. Like others would be like, whoa, who she thinks she is, and but when you're clear in your vibration, that it won't be that as much. There'll always be people that judge us, but there'll be more like, I don't know if I like you, but I respect you. Get more of that vibe going. I don't know if I want to kill you or love you. Like, like and again, you've already experienced some of these things, I know, but like, it's just we get concerned about amplifying some of these things we've already experienced. But the breakthrough for you and for your tribe is in the amplification of this. Like, let's experience it more intensely until it gets integrated and clears this vibration. If that makes sense, without me using too many words. So yeah, no, it's a big energetic breakthrough you're going through right now. You can go relatively bare bones on your strategy and structures. You don't have to build out like a ton of new stuff. Oh my God, we need you've basically got what you need for the most part. Build out a few things, and just focus on just with the hammer kind of energy. Okay, it's time to just go with this. And then there'll be creativity along the way, but is to build this out, and then just getting that I'm going to get this done kind of mentality going stronger and stronger. Because it's easy if you've got other priorities and other things to pulling you, and you're clearing some of that up. But like, if you got, the less of that you have, the more you'll feel like I can get it done. Otherwise, it's like, well, I'm kind of okay where I am right now. Like that's what you're saying for yourself. And that's what your tribe is saying too. Well, even though I'm really traumatized, I'm kind of okay right now.
Right.
Like, however you look at the organizations, these women, so it's like, no, it's not okay. It's not all right the way it is, like it's okay to be that way. I think as spiritual people, especially if people listening in, sometimes we're saying, oh, you're supposed to love what is and everything. So, okay, I love what is, it's fine. Like, so, but you got to say, no, that it's not, it is, but, and then again, it isn't, like, no, these things need to change. And yet in this moment, everything's fine. But yet it's, there's something that needs to be addressed. And it's really urgent and important. Otherwise, what happens is we just tend to just, we don't put our fullness into it. So, Yeah. 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 Because you got a strong pointing energy when you trust it and you're not afraid that somebody's going to get really mad at you. You just, no, I'm not going to be, like other people I know in my life. Okay. I'm not going to become like, for people listening, for example, like, I'm not going to become my dad or my mom or my grandma or whatever, But like whoever you're afraid you're going to become, no, I'm me and it's totally different. And recognizing it's not about that. It's about me being fully me and trusting being fully me. Okay. Wow. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Well, let's take a pause on all that, and then it's shared a number of things. Time's flying by on this show. Oh my God. So yeah,
Wow.
let's have you reflect on what came through briefly and see if we can work out a couple things from there.
Wow, this is good. As far as when you said the anthem, my music producer was telling me I need to get back in the studio. Let's do some work. Because me doing this educational part and focusing on the workshop and trying to put out the show that I already have, he was like, it's time for new material. You have so much that has happened to you.
Yeah.
You've transitioned in so many other new ways. So for you to call it an anthem for Black women in particular, wow. I hadn't even zoned in on that. And I did feel like when you hear all these marketing conversations about niche, identify your niche and then expand.
Yeah. Yeah. You can always go broader in it later.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I am happy to hear there's some confirmation in, your original intent was to zero in on the African-American woman, the young woman. And when you say women, that exposes it and opens it up to so many, because women
Right.
have asked me for the adult version of what I'm doing. Like,
Right.
what's the adult version? So that's so cool you're saying that. And that you said to clear the poor me. So it was like, wow, it's interesting to hear that there's still residue. I'm hearing you say there's still some residue there of me, I guess, just becoming comfortable and coming into my own. And like you said, the cockiness of it, I think that comes from the immaturity. It's just like, when you start identifying something about yourself, you get a little cocky about it.
Yeah.
You're not trying to, but you're just like, well, why don't you know? Or
Right.
did you know?
Right.
What's the big deal? It's like when you do things like that, it's like, it took me how many years to get to that place?
Right, exactly.
So why am I acting like all of a sudden it's so difficult? So thank you for identifying that's the cocky part. Because I was trying to figure out, I'm very giving, I'm an open person, I'm not cocky, but I can see how I can have some impatience with people on their path and on their journey. And me stepping back from family and other situations has allowed me to see, hey, let people walk their own path and don't judge them because you're 2 steps ahead of them in their path, So
Right.
I appreciate you saying that. And then the spiritual bridging. Yeah, it's so interesting. I just had a meeting today where we were talking about trauma and how I wrap up the whole workshop with mindfulness, a meditation. But once they heard the whole trauma experience and then I closed with the meditation, they were like, nope, you need to open with the meditation because that's the most powerful thing you've said
Right.
in this whole conversation. And I was like, wow, really? I didn't even think that they grabbed that meditation. And all I did was just explain that it's a self-awareness meditation in particular that I don't even do. I just play this audio that works for me, that I love, where it just pretty much separates you from all that's around you. So it's like a lot of us don't even recognize the self. Like, what is the self doing? The self is observing. So thank you for tapping into the spirituality, because I knew, coming up that I was a gospel singing raised individual. My mother's gospel director. So, I mean, that's all I know is music, and the spirituality of it all is the heart of what I do. So for this meeting that I happen to have today, for them to say, do that first, that was like powerful. I didn't expect that. So thank you for saying that. My connection to my higher power is very strong. And that I am connected outside of myself, because that's where sometimes I feel like as a introvert, and I'm sociable, but I like my time to myself. And I think it's because I'm so connected, I think, outside of this place, this thing, I'm so connected to that. So thank you for confirming that. And that this is the focus. This is the drill down. You and I talked about a team around me because I was feeling like, am I capable of doing all this stuff, putting all these parts together? This is a different side of the brain for a creative person. You know what I mean? It's a whole different side. And so I am attracting and meeting marketing individuals that can help me flush out the copyright and flush out what the copy looks like to the marketplace and the digital marketing plan. So thank you for saying that. Yeah, the online quiz idea, you answered that question because I was thinking about maybe rolling out like an email video series. But the quiz I was on the fence about that. Like, I have a quiz, or should I do like an email series? So that kind of answers that question. So you're just allowing me to trust that I'm okay. Who I am is enough. And what I have to say, I have enough experience to justify and validate what I have to say. Cause that's been my hang up. It's like, who am I to tell these people, I'm not a coach. I'm not a doctor. It's like, I just didn't want to put myself in that position of guru, if you will. I'm just a woman with an experience that I want to share. And I happen to have all these talents and vehicles to make it happen that you can connect with. So I really want to push that forward more so than what I was thinking in the guru mindset.
Right. But you have all the knowledge, wisdom, and capacities to do what you do in a really powerful way because you already have the results. So because you've worked with people and they've seen results. So that's what you speak to when you doubt yourself. You're like, wait a minute, I've helped people. I know how to help people. And so that's what you have to keep coming back to is I trust God, I trust source or whatever is delivering the results through me. And, people always think they need like degrees and extra degrees and certifications and everything, only to find out later that, those were all nice and helpful. But in some ways, I had the gift all along. It's like the Dorothy thing, right? You had the power all along, but you wanted certificates. So here you go.
Validate your little feelings, yes.
Yeah. Not that they're not worthwhile. It's just that, we don't need it as much as we think we do. And we can always add things, but we add things based on what our deeper intuition. Do I really need that right now? Well, probably not. Then you don't do it. It's not based on our headspace. It's afraid that we're never up to standard. So, okay. So my number one recommendation beyond everything I've already shared, again, is to double back on is a high level offer because you can customize that too. Then you don't say, hey, where's mine? Where's mine? Great. I got one-to-one for you guys. All right. And if you get out of your own mindset, oh my God, that's a fortune. I can know, they'll never be able to afford it. Then that's what they'll say to you. Oh my God, but one-to-one, you probably charge, more than, right? Well, is it worth it to you? Do you really want this? Come on, give me a break. How much is it? Again, and I know it's just meat and potatoes marketing, but how much does it cost you already? That you say, oh, it's true. We're always worried about what someone's going to cost. What's it costing you already? If you got a roof caving in on you, if you wait to fix it, well, it's only going to get worse. It's going to cost you more later. You're still going to have to fix it. So, wait for the whole roof to collapse first. Like giving people a visual sometimes is really good. Hey, I don't want to do the repair on my car. It's not too bad. It can still go down the road. I think I'll save some money. I won't bother with it. We can wait on those repairs. Okay, well, you never know when the day's going to come when that repair was really needed. And now you're stuck out in the middle of the road and maybe endangered yourself and others. So, when things start coming up, to more urgently take care of those things, especially something as deep as the work that you do, is to not, again, remember, they're continuing to experience trauma, problems. Because they haven't resolved the past trauma. So for when they say, well, I can't afford it, can you afford to continue with the life that you have right now? Let me know. What do you think? Just honestly, what do you think? I'm fine with your answer, whatever it is. I'm just curious. I think I need to do something about it. Okay, great. Let's talk, So have a high level offer for everybody and you can customize it. Okay. it's going to be pretty much the same for everybody, but you could customize it a little bit to where they are and who they are. So
Mhm.
does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Probably, again, you could probably, I mean, I can always talk to you a little bit off show, but
Mhm.
probably pick up 3 or 5 clients in no time flat, like get this party rocking. Then you're going to face your fears that, oh my God, what if it's a disaster? It doesn't work. Let's face those quicker rather than later. Get it over with so you're more confident to do everything else faster too,
Yes,
right?
yes, so
Yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah. A lot of
So
times we avoid the quick success, the quick opportunities for success because, I'm focused on this big thing. I'm going to get there eventually, and I'm going to get that done eventually because we're afraid to do these other things because what if we're a fraud and the whole thing isn't going to work anyway? So like these concerns we have, we want to put them to rest faster rather than later.
mhm.
So those are the feelings I'm getting for you. Any last thoughts on what I've shared today or anything?
Man, thank you for just once again, you're so good at confirming thoughts. Because I don't even tell you specific stuff. I mean, I give you overviews of things, but you kind of zero in on what I was thinking, and I appreciate that. As far as just like you said, the confidence building part is really where I'm at, in trusting that I have enough content. That's been my hold up too. Do I have enough content to share?
You
Am I
do.
really ready?
You have way more than enough content. The thing is to focus your content. And if anything, trust me, you don't think it's just like me. I could think that in my brain too. Oh, how much do I really have to share? I have no clue.
Mhm.
Oh my God, I could be sharing for the rest of my life, 100 more lifetimes, all the things that I'm aware of that people probably could benefit from, right? A lot. So I could just keep pouring from me. One of the number one reasons too is because I'm connected with all the intelligence and I can just channel it anyway. So so can you, so can anybody. We're just connected to what needs to be said. Our presence is enough. Our
Mhm.
wisdom is enough. Our God-given ability is enough. We don't always need to keep, digging up more all the time to be enough. That we don't need that. We're
Right.
going to do that anyway. We're still going to keep learning and exploring, but we can help people now. Why are we waiting? Do it now. So that's my message, not just for you, but for everyone listening today.
That's right.
So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up for today. And I think we got a good direction for you and more clarity and everything, empowerment, all the good stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right, wonderful. So I'd love for you to share with people if they're very interested in connecting with you, which I'm sure there'll be people that'll listen. I have a feeling there'll be people that want to connect with you. Do you want to share some of your contact information? I know you have a free gift for the right type of people as well. So tell them about that.
Yeah. So on my website, thebacktome project.com, there's a tab called freebies. And I have the first 2 chapters of my book that I was describing available, and where I cover the sexual assault in the first chapter. And then there's lessons to follow. So it reads almost like a Bible study read, where you got a story for about a couple pages, and then you got questions. So I take you through my lessons, and then how would you handle certain situations, not necessarily sexual assault, but just how would you handle a certain situation in your life. And I think those first 2 chapters are really strong. So I'm making those available. um, I'm also available on Instagram at Back to Me Project for those that are on Instagram, and I'm Yoli Tamu on LinkedIn, so you can definitely get in touch with me there. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to just connecting with women. I am expanding so that I can bring this to women, because they're asking for it, and I didn't think I was ready, but I am, based on what I'm hearing. And so this information is applicable to everybody. So this is good.
Yeah, I mean, that's where your greatest growth is, to realize you are all that you sometimes imagine yourself to be, but just don't trust it.
Mhm.
And got confirmation of that from people all the time. Like, what are you talking about? You're amazing. You could do anything, and you're meant for all this big stuff. And you're like, who, me? You're crazy. You're like, it's
Mhm.
just kind
Mhm.
of getting over that oh shucks kind of stuff, and
Right.
really starting to embody that confidence that you really do have inside of you. So
Thank you so much. This has been
So
great.
awesome. So everybody check out the links in the show notes or go to my blog. You can find it there as well at yoursacredpurpose.com/blog. Additionally, if you want to learn more about me, you can go to, again, yoursacredpurpose.com. If you want to apply to get your own energy scan consultation with me, you can do that. There's an opportunity to do that right on the front page there. The Rock Your Sacred Purpose Energy Scan Consultation. You could also get the Meditate, Make Money meditation, open up your energy, your chakras, get your guidance for the day, and watch the channels open for success. And so check that out at yoursacredpurpose.com. And why keep struggling? And do it the easy way, the meditate, make money way, right? Open up the channels and then take the action you know you're supposed to take, right? I always want to qualify that. You do need to take some actions, all right? All right, so that's about it for today. I'm just so grateful to have had you on. Any last words for the audience, Yoli?
Wow, I'm just really glad that you found me, that we were drawn to each other. And man, nothing, what do they say? There are no coincidences. This is definitely not a coincidence. We were meant to meet, and I'm just very thankful to you. And for your audience, for those that are, excited about what I have to say about the self-awareness transition, please reach out to me. Looking forward to meeting all of you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, great. So absolutely do that. And then just so grateful for all of you tuning in, and for you, Yoli, for being willing to come on today for the Energy Scan show. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. And like I always say, keep on tuning in, everybody. We'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till next time, everyone. Goodbye for now.
Listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.